Today we are going to talk about indigestion and how to indigestion in your business and how to ease that discomfort. So a lot of businesses will feel some indigestion when they start to grow. And it's one of the things that prevents businesses from really scaling, is when they start to feel that indigestion. And what that looks like is having an influx of clients or deliveries, and not being able to fulfill on those things, either because they're short on people, short on products, they're short on time. There's lots of things that can cause that. So today we're going to talk a little bit about some businesses that might be feeling some indigestion right now, and then offer some ideas and suggestions on how to deal with it, how to prevent it maybe. I think recognizing when indigestion might be starting is a good way, but if the influx comes very quickly and you're not able to kind of do anything before you start to feel it, there's things that you can do in order to solve that problem once it's happened. So I'm here with Janine, and if you want, let's just talk about some businesses that might be feeling some indigestion right now. So one of the ones that we had talked about yesterday was like Zoom, for example, right? They are feeling some with lots of new clients, and they just put out the offer in order to allow more people to be able to use the program. What do you think that they're feeling right now, and how do you think they're handling that?
Well, I think it's interesting in these times we're talking about surges in business when there's so much in the news about businesses shutting their brick and mortar doors and sending people home and that kind of thing. But that massive sending people home is leading to surges elsewhere. And so with Zoom, it's like it's like people don't think about it when they're sitting at their computer and just click on it, that there's a team of people behind the software platform or the e-commerce business or the whatever it is that they're looking at that time. And those teams have to grow along with the business. So when you have a surge, there's both the people that are needed, but there's a chain of events that has to occur to support that, right? So it's not just, oh, we just need more people. What does it take to find? You have to find those people and screen those people and onboard those people and initiate them into your training or whatever service you provide or whatever. And all that orientation takes time. And so one of the challenges with a massive surge is just the time that it takes. And so in the meantime, your delivery lags. But the other is, especially in the unusual events that we have going on, is no one knows not how real the surge is, but how far it will go or how long it will last. So they can put a lot of money into trying to support that surge and then have it fall off on the other side where it may not even be worth what they put into supporting that expansion versus just limiting the amount of new customers that they take on. Yeah. And it's really challenging, the lack of predictability.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. One of a lot of e-com sites, I would think, are probably experiencing some indigestion. A lot more people are ordering things online so that they don't have to go to the store. So having hiring employees or contractors to work temporarily, hiring some temp workers to assist in getting the getting orders out, updating websites. Think about if they're running out of products very quickly, they're going to have to update their website to make sure that it reflects what's available, either in the store physically or on the e-com site. So that's one thing that I think that could be going on. I just saw someone post that Amazon is hiring people to work from home. I didn't click, so I don't know exactly what the job is, but obviously they're feeling some of it too. They were limiting the orders from some of their warehouses and things. So they're obviously looking for alternative ways to to serve, to service the clients that they have. What other businesses do you think are probably, feeling that sort of
Before we
stress?
move off the Amazon things, like where Amazon is feeling a surge, it's in particular supplies that are in high demand right there. So they've actually prioritized what they're delivering, starting with baby supplies and,
Right.
fairly, needful thing. But the FBA Amazon people that don't fall in those categories of I don't want to say they're high demand, but they're also, important as far as people, they're necessary supplies for people. Amazon said, well, you can still sell on our platform, but you may have to fulfill from home. And then that is, it's like, even if it's a surge, especially when we have so many areas that are under stay-at-home warnings, it's like, that's a whole nother issue that, it may be a problem for them.
Right. Possibly needing more delivery personnel. Even, even thinking about like grocery stores and things, because if some of their employees need to be at home, or if they get sick and then they have to quarantine, now they're down people for shifts. I was just reading the other day, this woman was posting, she runs an at-home care business, and one of her employees was having symptoms, couldn't get tested, and basically they just said you need to quarantine for 2 weeks. Well, now that places the woman, they go on 12-hour shifts, and they're working with the elderly who need the assistance, and basically, just put her under the gun to find a replacement for her, but then that takes away from somewhere else. So that definitely is something, she's probably going to have to start looking for other people to provide that service. And then you're also, putting yourself and the other person at risk. So it's definitely going to be difficult trying to find someone to replace, that the person that was sick. So.
Yep. Then there are even online 100% online service providing businesses where, say, especially if they have any kind of one-on-one model, like a coaching or some kind of one-on-one service, where if they get a surge of demand, it's like they still need the coaches or the personnel to provide that service. And then if they're trying to onboard them quickly, the quality of what they're delivering can definitely suffer.
Yeah. What about like some of the homeschool based programs or things like that? If they have classrooms that are virtual, they might see an influx of people there, so they might need additional instructors to provide the teaching through virtual classroom.
Absolutely. And even if they're 100% digital information, the servers are taking a hit and crashing sites from the sudden uptick in service. So there's all kinds of points where indigestion can break down for the business.
Yeah. And then so before all of this happened, a lot of businesses feel this indigestion. If a business is getting ready to launch, let's say a coaching program or something like a group program, and they have to think about the amount of people that they anticipate buying. Obviously can't predict, but you should at least have an idea. And then if you're doing group coaching and you're hiring coaches for that particular program, having them onboarded prior to, like, you don't want to be bringing on the clients for the coaching program and then all of a sudden trying to hire the coaches, because then you have people that are expecting coaching but aren't getting it because you're not prepared for that. That's another sense of indigestion that I think will then prevent people from scaling, because if you have unhappy clients, then less likely that they either stay in the month-to-month program or they won't recommend it, or whatever. There's a lot of things that can come out of that. So I think ways to, one, recognize that something like that's going to happen. So if you're getting ready to launch a program like that, having the infrastructure to manage and to support that kind of program is important to have in place prior to bringing the clients on. And I get that you can't really predict how many people are going to buy, but you have an idea of what your goal is, and then you need to have people or contractors available to be part of that program, if it's a coaching program or something like that, before you even start selling it, just so you have them onboarded, they know the program, they're ready to take groups and stuff and start coaching. I don't know what you think, as far as like other things, so about, what to do once you're in that situation. But that's one I can think of that you can prepare for versus waiting to the last minute, and then you have all these people and no one to coach them.
Yeah, and right now, in light of current events, it's like there's taking that one step forward where even if you have the people that you need, is planning for just, this is in particular for online businesses, but just because people working at home doesn't mean that they don't get sick, and it doesn't take them away from what they need to do. And when we're looking at the potential for many people being under the weather at the same time, or simply pulled away because they become a caregiver for someone else.
Right.
Having that contingency plan in place is really important, because that's what we do, especially, is look for those single points of failure in businesses when they're scaling and that kind of thing. And it's really critical for the smaller businesses, especially that have people wearing more than one hat. So getting those contingency plans in place, cross-training people and that kind of thing is even more important right now.
Right. And I'm sure people who are solo, solopreneurs, are probably feeling some indigestion as well. They wear all the hats. Maybe they have one or two people that support them, but they wear most of the hats. And if they're trying to manage their family at home, they're trying to do, homeschool with the kids, and they're trying to manage their business. I mean, this is the time for them to really go out and hire some support, and in order to keep their business growing. Obviously, they have to figure out what their budget is to be able to do that, and either budget time to continue to work in and on their business, or they need to look to hire someone to do some of the work to help them continue their business, if they're able to.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting, the shift in questions that we've been seeing, where there's the people who need to, regarding their systems, like the people who are seeing the loss in activity really want to streamline and automate and everywhere they can. And the people with the surge, it's like the people with the surges, like the upside is there are a lot of people who are looking for that thing to do that they can do from home. So it's just a matter of getting them together.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Laura's here. She said, yeah, it's easy to lose focus when there's so much going on. Yeah, absolutely. And it's easy to get sidetracked and think, I'll get to that later. But I mean, there's no better time to look at your business and see what you can automate right now and what you can hire out, and, who you can work with, than right now, because having a backup plan. And if you didn't, I'm sure people are feeling the pressure of kind of scrambling to figure out what's next in their business.
Yep. And then there's the leadership side of being a business owner in that. It's like where everyone's feeling a little uncertain and nervous and everything else. That's really time to, even though you're feeling that as well, it's like if you are calm and you project confidence, then that definitely helps everyone else. So it's being mindful of actively reminding them it's like it's going to be okay. Taking care of themselves is super important.
And one of the things I think is happening maybe with some larger businesses that are used to being in person is that they're feeling the pressure of managing the projects and things from afar, remotely, and having to they're not used to like not having that contact with people, and so they're having to do it on virtually. And I think that's causing some indigestion, that's causing some miscommunications and things like that. I've seen some posts about it, that they're working on a project and things aren't getting communicated properly, and so that's causing a whole nother set of problems. Okay, so Laura said nobody expected something like this crisis to happen. Now a lot of people are feeling under pressure to find something they can now do online. Yeah, absolutely. How to get online, how to take parts of their business. There is a lot of panic happening at the moment. And it's trying to get creative and think about ways to get online. And I know I was kind of trying to brainstorm some ideas as I saw people posting about their business and what they have. I saw someone post that they own like a clothing boutique, and I was thinking, well, one, that person would need to focus on their site, their website, because people can still buy online. But the other thing is they could start a Facebook group and build a community around. So all the people that are her normal customers, she could build a Facebook group, build a community around it. They can talk about upcoming fashion trends for the spring and summer. Things like that. She can post any sales that she's having. They could probably, I'm thinking maybe some sort of fashion show, something. There was someone that posted about a hairdresser, and I was thinking, well, she could do a Facebook group, at home hair treatments, at home, like how to teach people how to do their own hair at home or something like that, and just start to build some communities. Although they might not be having clients, they can at least build some communities now that will then be their clients or were their clients prior to being closing down their shops.
Yep, and getting the people involved because of this social isolation going on right now, just the need to be distracted. It's like the fashion things, like, well, working with what you have in your closet, what are the different varieties of things you can come up with, that giving them things to do that they can turn around and share with each other, is a great way to get them involved. And keep them busy and make them happy, and that'll keep them coming back.
Yeah. And so just to kind of wrap up, so if someone has a business or they are starting to feel some indigestion, they're already feeling it, one of the things is to sit down and really just think about where you're at, where you want to go, and then who can you hire to support you. If you can't afford to do that, then you need to come up with a list and prioritize what needs to be done. So if you are on your own, you can't hire someone, you don't have the budget for it, then you need to prioritize your list and make sure that, like, what's the most important thing? Because you can do all the advertising you want, but if you can't fulfill, ultimately you're going to fail. So that's the thing. But if you can afford to hire, look at what's going on, what's the priority, and who do you need to hire in order to help you and support you in that. And then as far as, we mentioned like larger businesses that are maybe having some issues working remotely, communication is key. Having, one of our videos that we did, I think 2 weeks ago, we talked about that. So you can go back and watch that video. We went into depth about the different things. We have the PDF that explains what you need. But communication is key, and having a schedule so you know when people are going to I thought my dog was going to bark. I lost my train of thought. Oh, when you're going to meet, and so you can all be on the same page with that. Laura asked a question. Do you write a list daily to get through tasks or weekly? Well, I kind of do a little bit of both. Shh, it's all right, bud. Hey, sorry. I kind of do a little bit of both. So I have like my weekly goals, and then I break that down into daily tasks that would then help me get to my weekly goals. So, anyway, so that's what we were, just to kind of wrap up, prioritize, figure out who you can hire. That's something that Janine and I do. We work with people to help them, find and hire the people that they need to support their business. Did I miss anything, Janine?
I was just going to say that we often help people just with doing that prioritization, because when all the things are happening at once, like they know what they need, they know all the things they want done, and then get overwhelmed by the picking which one to go with first. And then once you get in motion, everything else tends to fall in line. But we've been helping people with that as well.
Awesome. Well, Laura, thank you so much for joining us live. And we will see you next week at 11 a.m. Eastern, and we will be going over some more of the Trello boards and how we break those down with the tasking. If you guys are watch the replay, make sure you do #replay, put any comments or questions and we will get back and respond. So thank you so much and have a great day.
Have a good
Bye.
one.